Fast food workers, what menu item should everyone avoid from where you work? At Dunkin', I'd say everything is fine except frozen drinks made with the old Island Oasis machine. My store now has a Vitamix blender, but the old machine was never cleaned well enough. Try not to get decaf at Burger King's. I'm not sure if it is just the one I worked at or if it is all their outlets, but we didn't actually brew any decaf. Whenever someone ordered it, my manager would just ask us water down the regular coffee. Is that how it is for all Burger Kings? If you have peanut allergies, don't get drinks from Sonic. They do not care about cross-contamination at all. They don't have them anymore, but when I worked at Arby's, the RBQ was the one thing I would never eat. That sauce would sometimes be 2 months old, I'm not kidding. Whenever I handed an order to a customer who ordered one, I would say, "Here you go, not enjoy your food." As someone who has tried to find the motivation to start a diet recently, this thread is you. Good Reddit. I don't work in fast food, but I have a buddy who fixes and services fountain soda machines. Never ever drink fountain soda. The hoses that the syrup runs through are never cleaned and rarely changed. He says they are stained and or have mold. My buddy says the insides of fountain soda machines are usually disgusting. I agree with the ice machine. I worked at a very popular Midwest burger joint in 2 different cities. The busier one would clean out the ice machines twice a week and the less busy one wouldn't until there was black floaters. Also be watchful of how they scoop ice in your cup. If they scoop the ice into the cup, your ice is going to have wax in it. Bucks barista here, do not get any iced Toledo drinks. It just doesn't work, and olive oil in coffee was already a big stretch. The hot latte is actually not too bad and tastes a little bit like Cheerios, but the oil almost instantly separates from the rest of the drink when it's iced, which is no bueno. If you go to a McDonald's that has a shake machine that is always working, don't get a shake there. If you go to one that is always broken, it's perfectly safe to get a shake there. The reason the machine is down so often is because it has a really long cleaning cycle that needs to be done frequently. There's way too much Wendy's chili slander here. MFS here don't know what chili is. It's not supposed to be fresh. It's a stew that simmers and sits, made from leftover ingredients that would otherwise be wasted. That's the whole fucking point. And as someone who made it for a short while in high school, it's completely fine. The thing to avoid at Wendy's are the salads, but I'd assume that's a given for every fast food restaurant. Former Disney CM here. I worked in foods for the last 1.5 years I was there. I can honestly say that you should be comfortable eating or drinking anything from the parks. Obviously, it's not health food, but from a food safety perspective, Disney is super diligent. Ice machines are cleaned regularly, at least once a week. Same with beer tap and soda lines, they are flushed weekly. Of course, things occasionally happen, and something can go wrong, but as soon as it's noticed, it's addressed. There have been times when items have been pulled from every location because there was an issue with a single item at a different location in another park. Disney can't afford a hit to its reputation, so they don't take chances. Worked at Steak and Shake and Burger King 10 years ago. Everything was on the level over brother. However, around that same time, worked at Arby's and told me that other workers would regularly drop roast beef on the ground, pick it up, and still put it on the sandwich that's their signature item. I say just avoid the entire restaurant. Lol. Sandwich from Starbucks. No, we don't make anything in-house. It's shipped out to us frozen and we just reheat it in the oven for your dollar. Worked in an Olive Garden-esque Italian restaurant, and while I wouldn't necessarily say anything is disgusting, the lasagna was often just microwaved and then broiled for a few seconds to make it not obviously microwaved. The rest of the pasta that I can remember was decent enough. At a chain coffee shop with a type of reindeer, as its items are designed to be dry in order to get you to buy coffee and the coolers are overly. The coffee is legit. If there is anything else on the drip menu besides regular Caribou blend, get that one instead, as it is less acid and is better roasted than most other coffee. The mochas use regular Caribou blend coffee as the espresso. It's not a trade secret, but the acidity is what blends the chocolate to create that unique mocha taste. Worked at Chuck E. Cheese years ago, and while the pizza was good safe, it's pretty tough to screw up pizza, but the salad bar would be, and kids would just toss the tongs and spoons all over the salad bar, letting the handles fall into the food, getting all the different vegetables and dressings mixed together. All this at one of the grossest places on earth, where they are putting their hands all over video games, the ball pit, pizza, and around again. At the end of the night then we would flip all of the salad bar vegetables over into fresh containers and top them off for the next day. They did get thrown out every few days. If employees ever made ourselves a salad, we would make it from the ingredients in the fridge that were not yet out on the bacteria bar. So glad I can make a list of these what to not eat out. Thank you Redditors. Extra fruit topping or chocolate sauce in a DQ Blizzard. It's going to be runny and overpower the ice cream. He repaired commercial appliances. He had a special hatred of Jack in the Box for any grilled chicken option. They microwave them to order, and he said their cleaning standards are the most disgusting of any fast food chain. That wasn't based on one location either, but dozens in the area. I named my account after once told me about how O'Charlie's had a bucket of butter they used, and how it had mold in it. That's kinda gross. Brother worked at Subway in the early 00s. He told me to never eat the tuna and to not ask him why. I'd never had one to that point, and still have not. About other Paneras, but the one I worked at always had unripe avocados. Unless it was the heat of summer, in which they were heat damaged because they don't let the AC be more than 20 below the outside temp. It's been 90s around me for the last week. Filet worker, I would honestly say the food is pretty safe. It's all made back there minus the soups. However, the drinks on the other hand, it's financially smarter to just go to the gas station and get yourself a fountain drink than pay $2 for a large Coke that is half the size of a large at McDonald's. Hortons anything with whipped topping. It's just this nasty oily stuff from a bag. Most of the answers in this thread are just pointless, as the majority of fast food chains mentioned here in our franchises. There will be huge differences in the practices, quality, and cleanliness depending on the owners and/or managers of the specific restaurant that the person answering has worked at. If you're a rude customer, it's probably a good idea to avoid anything and everything that's being prepared for you. A former restaurant worker, never order fountain soda. The machines don't get cleaned like they should. Haven't worked there in 20 years, but the fish fillet at McDonald's has probably sat there forever because it's only popular during Lent. Not a fast food worker, but I fill cylinders with different gas mixtures. CO2 beverage grade are used for fountain pop. The company I work for has a higher standard process than competitors for ensuring these cylinders are properly purged and cleaned with gas prior to refilling. Other companies don't even vacuum the cylinder out or care what the tare weight of the cylinder is, so they just top fill it. Our cylinder retest facility on site has developed these cylinders when they need to requalify them, and inside is old syrup from who knows when. Used to work at Subway when they kept bringing in new menu items. No one ever really ordered them. We'd have to waste all the limited offers after a week because they never sold. Everyone was there for the usual deli meats hot subs, and not the funky ones with weird shit in them. Never worked in fast food, but I saw a video last year about ice machines at restaurants being filled with bacteria, like if you go to a McDonald's and order the usual, but this time you got a little sick? It's probably the ice. Apparently the ice maker at restaurants fast food don't get cleaned well, or it also germs kind of house in there. Of the kitchen thingy, you know, the styrofoam inner lining, pardon my ESL. The thing is, while I was working there between the roof and the boards, on every site, most of the time a lot of microscopical very toxic fiberglass fibers were floating and raining on top of the salads, and nobody said nothing. Very toxic, indeed. And never ever they paid attention to me even after I reported the issue to the managers. Every time I was dismissed, they said, "Oh, we cannot stop serving salads just because you're up there, so there you go." Incredible. Now go and check what does fiberglass ingestion does to your body. At least it wasn't breathing it, haha.